All right, let's get right into it. We're about to tear down one of the most costly illusions out there, not just in trading, but in any high stakes game. And it's this idea that you have to be constantly moving, constantly doing something to make progress. We're going to see how true lethal power often comes from staying perfectly, deliberately still. I mean, you know this story, right? It plays out every single week. You've got the active trader over here, 12 trades, feels busy, feels like he's working hard. The only problem? His account is bleeding out. Then you have the still trader. 0 trades, feels like a total failure, like he's missing everything. But his capital? It's all there, intact, safe. And that right there, that's the trap. It's this backward way of thinking where doing nothing feels wrong and spinning your wheels feels productive. This belief that motion equals progress is a psychological flaw that costs people a fortune. So today, we're going to pull it apart piece by piece. To really get our heads around this, let's actually step away from the charts for a minute. Let's look at how the absolute best of the best, the elite performers in other fields, operate. Because you're going to find that their whole approach to action is, well, it's fundamentally different from most people's. So what is it? What's the thing that truly separates a master from an amateur? When you see someone who is just unbelievably good at what they do, what is it you're actually witnessing? I'll tell you what it's not. It has absolutely nothing to do with the amount of stuff they do. It's not about the hustle, it's not about being busy. In fact, it's pretty much the exact opposite. Here it is. The real mark of an expert is the devastating, surgical precision of the few actions they choose to take. And, just as important, the complete and total stillness that surrounds that choice. And what's so cool about this slide is you see this principle everywhere it counts. A neurosurgeon doesn't make 100 little cuts hoping for the best. No, they make only the exact incisions required because any extra movement is literally life-threatening. A Navy SEAL is trained for what they call the calm before contact, a state of almost unnerving stillness before the action kicks off. And the expert trader, it's the same exact thing. They wait, and they only move when everything lines up perfectly. This is the huge mental shift we have to make. We have to stop thinking of stillness as being passive or weak. It's not. It's aggression being stored up, conserved, focused like a laser beam, held in reserve until that one single moment when it will have the most devastating impact. It's a coiled spring. You know, this isn't some new idea. Not at all. In fact, this way of thinking has deep, powerful roots in ancient philosophy. The Stoics had a name for this kind of lethal calm. The word is apatheia. Now, it's almost always mistranslated as apathy, which makes it sound like you're lazy or you just don't care. That's completely wrong. The true meaning is so much more powerful. It's a state of rational calm. It's the strength to be completely unmoved by all the noise and chaos that doesn't actually matter. The Roman Emperor Marcus Aurelius, who is also one of the great Stoic philosophers, had this beautiful metaphor to explain it. He said, "The ideal mind is like water." Just think about how water behaves. It's not passive, but man, is it efficient. It doesn't slam itself against a boulder over and over again trying to force its way through. No, it just flows around it. It finds the path of least resistance without ever losing its forward momentum. And don't ever mistake that calm efficiency for weakness. That same gentle, flowing water is what carved the Grand Canyon. And how did it do it? Not with one single violent explosion of effort. It did it through patient, relentless, consistent application of force over a very, very long time. So, what does this ancient wisdom mean for us right now? It leads us to a fundamental truth that most people have to learn the hard, expensive way. The market doesn't care how much effort you put in. It doesn't reward you for being busy. It only rewards one thing: accuracy. And accuracy demands stillness, not frantic action. Okay, so we get it. Stillness is a superpower. But let's be honest, it goes against every modern instinct we have. So how do we actually build this skill? Well, here's a simple 3-step framework you can use. First, you have to completely rewire what success even means to you. Every single day that you correctly do nothing, you need to write in your journal, "I was still, I protected my capital, today was a professional win." You're literally reprogramming your brain. Second, build a ritual of stillness before you even look at a chart. And third, you have to measure it. Start tracking your do-nothing days as a key performance indicator of your discipline. And that pre-session ritual? Hey, we're not talking about some hour-long meditation retreat. We're talking about 5 minutes. That's it. 5 minutes of total silence before the market opens. No phone, no news, nothing. This isn't about finding enlightenment. It's about calibration. It's about showing up ready for the reality of the market, not just dragging the chaos of your morning with you. Because here's the payoff. The mind that has practiced this, that has been still, isn't wasting all its precious cognitive and emotional energy on noise. So when a real, valid opportunity finally shows up, it arrives at that moment with a full tank of gas. It hasn't been drained by a dozen meaningless little skirmishes. It saved everything for the one battle that matters. So this whole thing really boils down to one simple idea: your personal relationship with stillness. And I'm telling you, that relationship, more than any fancy strategy, is what will ultimately determine how far you can go. So I want to leave you with a question, and I want you to be brutally honest with yourself. In the last month, the last 30 days, how many times did you sit down, look at the market, see nothing worth your capital, and then do absolutely nothing? And here's the real gut check. Did you look back on those days and see them as failures, as wasted time? Or do you see them for what they really were? The moments your professional discipline was at its absolute sharpest. The days you acted like a pro, conserving your power for the perfect moment. Your answer to that question tells you everything.